The bubble tea shop's bell chimed as another customer entered, but Elena didn't look up from her laptop. Her tiny apartment above the shop had come with an unexpected perk: free Wi-Fi and a perfect view of the street where her father's business rivals often met for lunch. In her past life, she'd been too consumed with grad school to notice these golden opportunities for gathering intelligence. "Chen, order up," her manager called. Elena minimized the cryptocurrency trading app, showing a carefully timed investment in a blockchain company that wouldn't make headlines for another 3 months, and hurried to the counter. As she prepared the brown sugar milk tea with extra pearls, she caught snippets of conversation from 2 tech executives at the corner table. The startup's working on predictive AI. Revolutionary, if it works. Elena hid her smile. In her past life, that startup had revolutionized market prediction technology. This time, she'd already bought shares under a shell company name, using the money from her first crypto success. Her phone buzzed. A text from Maya. "First solo exhibition next month. Small gallery, but it's a start." Attached was a photo of Maya's latest painting, vibrant with colors she never would have dared use under their father's roof. Elena's eyes stung as she typed back congratulations. In her previous life, Maya had never made it to her first exhibition. The bell chimed again. Elena froze as she recognized Mr. Zhang, her father's right-hand man, entering the shop. She ducked behind the counter, but not before catching his calculating look. That night, she found an envelope slipped under her apartment door. Inside was a check with enough zeros to buy her way back into her father's good graces, along with a note: "He misses you. Come home." Elena held the check over her scented candle, watching it curl and burn. On her laptop screen, a news alert flashed. Her father's company was about to announce a partnership with the very startup she'd invested in. Their stock would soar, and with it, her carefully hidden fortune. Her phone rang, an unlisted number. "Ms. Chen, this is David Wong from Tech Future magazine. We're doing a piece on anonymous market predictors, and your online handle Phoenix keeps coming up. Care to comment?" Elena smiled, thinking of the ancient bird rising from ashes. "I'm afraid you have the wrong number," she said, then paused. "But I might be able to connect you with some interesting sources about the upcoming Chen Industries partnership announcement." After hanging up, she opened her email to find an invitation to a prestigious tech conference. Not as a service worker this time, but as a speaker. Her topic: the future of predictive investment technologies. The irony made her laugh. A notification popped up. Maya had just been accepted into another international art show. Elena leaned back in her chair, surveying her cramped apartment with its wall of sticky notes and market predictions. Sometimes the best revenge wasn't about getting even. It was about getting ahead while ensuring those you love could soar on their own wings. Maya stood in the center of her New York gallery exhibition, surrounded by whispers of admiration from art critics and collectors. Her latest installation, Echoes of Tomorrow, featured haunting paintings of memories that felt more like prophecies: a funeral in the rain, an empty violin case, a girl standing alone in a corporate boardroom. She couldn't explain why these images kept appearing in her dreams, compelling her to paint them. "Your mysterious patron has done it again," her agent whispered, sliding over a tablet showing the latest auction results. "They've bought the Rain funeral for triple the asking price through Goldman Gallery." Maya frowned, studying the transaction details. This was the 7th piece this patron had purchased, each time through a different gallery, each sale perfectly timed to boost her reputation in the art world. The pattern was too precise to be coincidence. Meanwhile in Shanghai, Elena sat in her penthouse office, watching Maya's exhibition through a private live stream while her team prepared for the day's most crucial meeting. A holographic display showed Chen Industries' AI project metrics spinning in red, exactly as she remembered from her past life. "Ms. Phoenix," her assistant interrupted, using the name the business world had given her, "Chen Industries board is ready for your presentation." Elena stood, smoothing her black designer suit. "Send them in." She turned off Maya's live stream with reluctance, but kept the gallery's security feed running on her phone. She knew Maya was close to unraveling her identity. The breadcrumb trail she'd left through the art purchases was deliberate. The board members filed in, their faces drawn with worry. Elena had orchestrated this moment carefully, letting them discover their AI project's fatal flaw, ensuring they heard rumors about Phoenix Consulting's unprecedented success rate, making them come to her. Their faces showed no recognition of the teenager they'd watched self-destruct in their boardroom 5 years ago. The AI core has a fundamental error in its learning algorithm, Elena began without preamble, displaying complex code that would crash spectacularly in exactly 3 days, unless she prevented it. But I can fix it. Her phone buzzed. Maya had just asked the Goldman Gallery for records of all recent buyers. Elena smiled. Her sister's investigative skills had sharpened considerably since their childhood. Your terms? The board chairman asked, desperation evident in his voice. Elena projected a new hologram, a restructuring plan that would save their company while funneling significant resources into arts education, full control of the AI division, and a substantial investment in this initiative. She highlighted the art therapy program she designed, knowing Maya would soon need funding for her upcoming youth outreach project. The chairman's eyes widened at the price tag. That's... A commotion outside interrupted him. Elena's assistant burst in flustered. Ms. Phoenix, there's a Maya Chen here, insisting on seeing you. She says she recognized her own paintings in your office. Elena turned to the window, sensing her sister's presence even before she saw her reflection in the glass. Let her in, she said softly. It's time. Elena's hands trembled as she stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. The face looking back at her was both familiar and strange, younger, unburdened by the years of regret she carried in her memories. She splashed cold water on her face, the shock helping to ground her in this new reality. 17 again, with a chance to change everything. Down the hall, she could hear Maya practicing violin, the melancholic notes of Tchaikovsky's violin concerto floating through the air. In her past life, Elena had been too busy preparing for her own piano recital to notice how the music had grown increasingly desperate in the weeks before Maya's first attempt. This time, she heard the pain in every note. Elena, her father's sharp voice cut through the music. The board members will be here in an hour. Have you prepared your presentation? She smoothed her blazer, a designer piece that now felt like a costume. Yes, father. The lie rolled easily off her tongue. In her pocket, a USB drive contained not the expected presentation about her academic achievements, but evidence of her father's carefully hidden corruption. The Chen family's sprawling mansion buzzed with activity as staff prepared for the board meeting. This was supposed to be her moment, where she would dazzle her father's business associates and secure her place as the heir to Chen Industries. Instead, she had spent the last week meticulously gathering proof of how her father had manipulated the overseas program selection committee. Maya's violin music stopped abruptly, followed by the sound of breaking strings. Elena's heart clenched. Last time, she had ignored these signs, too focused on her own path to see her sister crumbling. I can't do it anymore. Maya's voice drifted from her room, barely a whisper. I can't be her shadow. Elena knocked on Maya's door, then entered to find her sister surrounded by sheet music, the violin discarded on the bed. You don't have to be anyone's shadow, she said softly. Maya looked up, surprise flickering across her face. Elena hadn't visited her room in months, not since their father had increased the pressure on both of them to excel. Easy for you to say. You're the perfect one. Elena sat beside her sister, picking up the violin. A crack ran along its surface. Maya had been practicing so intensely, the strings had snapped. Perfect is boring, Elena said, carefully placing the instrument aside. And more importantly, it's a lie. The sound of cars pulling up the driveway signaled the arrival of the board members. Elena stood, squeezing Maya's shoulder. Watch the board meeting today. I promise you, everything's about to change. As she walked toward the conference room, Elena felt lighter than she had in 2 lifetimes. The USB drive in her pocket held the key to destroying her own future and saving her sister's. Sometimes, she realized, the greatest victory comes from choosing to lose. The hospital room's monitors beeped steadily as Elena and Maya stood at their father's bedside. The great Chen Weiming, whose presence once filled entire boardrooms, looked small against the white sheets. His eyes flickered between his daughters. One he had cast out, the other he had set free without meaning to. "The company," he rasped, reaching for Elena's hand. "How long have you?" "Since the beginning," Elena answered, allowing him to grasp her fingers. "Every investment, every prediction, every rescue operation, it was always me." She felt Maya's hand on her shoulder, drawing strength from her sister's presence. Their father's eyes filled with tears. "I thought I was teaching you success," he whispered. "But you understood it better than I ever did." Maya stepped forward, placing her latest sketch on his bedside table. It showed two timelines intertwined, one dark with tragedy, one bright with hope. "I've been dreaming of another life," she said quietly. "A life where I never made it to my first gallery opening. Where Elena became exactly what you wanted, but lost herself. Where you left us," Elena finished, her voice thick. "That's why I came back. That's why I had to change everything." Their father's monitors spiked as understanding dawned in his eyes. "Back? What do you mean, came back?" Elena pulled out her phone, showing him article after article about Phoenix Consulting's impossible success rate. "I knew which companies would fail because I'd seen it happen before. I knew which startups would succeed because I'd watched them rise. When you gave me that choice 5 years ago, to keep my inheritance or defend Maya, I chose differently this time. And that choice," Maya added, "saved both of us." Their father tried to sit up, decades of business instincts warring with what he was hearing. "If what you're saying is true, then all this time, when you were predicting market trends—" "I wasn't predicting," Elena said softly. "I was remembering." The merger documents lay on the hospital tray, waiting for signatures. But more important was the other document, a proposal for the Chen Family Foundation, dedicated to supporting young artists and entrepreneurs who dared to choose their own paths. "Sign them both," Elena said, "not as a demand, but as an invitation to change. Not because you owe us anything, but because you finally understand." Their father's hand shook as he reached for the pen. Outside the window, cherry blossoms swirled in the spring breeze, a symbol of renewal Maya had painted countless times in her artwork. "Your mother," he said suddenly, "would have been proud of you both. She always said success wasn't about power, it was about becoming who you were meant to be." Elena and Maya exchanged glances, memories of 2 lifetimes flowing between them. In one world, they had shattered under the weight of expectations. In this one, they had learned to soar, not despite their broken pieces, but because of how they had put each other back together. "We know, Father," they said in unison. "We finally know."